Okay. And then I also will send you information about the exercises that I provide. And for those of you that weren't able to attend the first two sessions, I will send you the videos for those as well. So you'll have those. Okay. So you'll recognize this, folks, that were at the other two sessions that looks familiar. And notice what you are noticing. This is really one of those key concepts that I talked about earlier, because what we're talking about is paying attention to your thoughts and your feelings, because indeed the life that you're living is a result of the way that you're thinking. So if you don't like what you're seeing in your life, something has to change. Henry Ford said, if you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. Lao Tzu wrote the Tao Te Ching, and many of you probably are aware of it. He was an ancient Chinese philosopher and writer. And he said, if you correct your mind, the rest of your life will fall into place. Inspiration. So inspiration is in spirit. So when you align your body with your highest self, your highest purpose, everything else falls in place. Patanjali, who was an Indian sage who lived many years ago, 4th or 5th century CE, stated that when you are inspired from greater purpose by some extraordinary project, your thoughts of limitations break their bonds. It expands in every direction, and you find yourself in some great and wonderful world. Stay on task, even with fears, and do it anyways. Follow your heart. It's the call of your soul. So this is also a repeat from yesterday. Everything is energy and everything vibrates. That means you and me. That means our emotions and our feelings are at a certain vibrational level. And again, that is really important, because what's happening is you are drawing something at that same level to you. And that's where the law of attraction comes in. It's one of those universal laws. It states that which is like unto itself is drawn. So what we're trying to do here in the work that we do is match vibrations with where we want, what we want. So if we want something that is really positive in our life, we have to be operating at a higher level, a more positive level, a more positive vibration. So like when you're tuning in on the radio and you go to 91.1, you can't expect to get 103.5. It's not possible. Same thing with the way that we are running our energy. So by the universal law of attraction, you're drawing what you're thinking about. If you don't want it, you're going to have to change what you're thinking. So an example that I like to use, and I'm sure that you've all faced this in some way. So let's say you just made a dinner and you've got guests and you've got some really nice clothes on, and you're thinking, oh gosh, as I'm moving this to the table, I don't want to spill it. I don't want to spill it. I don't want to spill it. Guess what happens? You spill it. And it's because your subconscious mind is not hearing, don't want to spill it. It's hearing, spill it, spill it, spill it, spill it. You know, and we do this all the time. I've done that with, you know, something that's breakable. I end up breaking, and it's like, well, you know, I should know better. Well, I do know better. But again, you know, like we've talked before, it's forming a habit of doing some of these things, you know, changing the way that we're thinking so that the things that we're looking at are changing. So perception, visualization, what is it that you want? So it's really important to get clear about what you want, because that's what you're going to get. So if you're not thinking clearly and something comes to you out of left field, it's because you weren't thinking clearly. So you've probably heard that athletes actually who are competing in a match coming up will run it in their heads. They will look at every step of the way of what they need to be doing. And doctors have actually put probes on their brains and have determined that there is actually muscle memory. Their muscles are firing. So they are actually running the race, if that's the effort that they're doing. They are running the race and they are seeing themselves win it. So our feelings are really key. So, you know, when you're doing that visualization, we need to make sure that our feelings are matching what it is that we want. So there's this great little key called intention, attention, no tension. So nothing happens without intention. And you can look around your office, all the things that you see physically, someone had to intend them to be. That's, that's how it all works. So intention is an actual determination to act in a certain way. And if you want this to all work well for your benefit, you need to set your intention from your soul, not from your ego. Deepak Chopra, who is a prolific author and speaker, says that everything that happens in the universe starts with an intention. So intention, so there's intention, attention, no tension. So what you put your focus on, like we talked before, gets stronger. So there are 4 aspects to attention. One is your thoughts. So again, you have to be aware of what it is that you want and what you imagine. But when you are explaining it to yourself, which is, you're the most important audience, it's yourself. But if you're explaining it to yourself or someone else, remember that words have power. So when you're talking about it, talk about what you want, not what you don't want. And your feelings need to be in alignment with this. So pay attention to them. And your actions need to be aligned with all of it in order for this all to work. So I'm sure that you've all been in a situation where something bad happened to you at work and you want to tell someone about it. So you feel like they feel your pain with you, and you go through it. And usually you might feel a bit like, oh, good, I kind of got that off my chest, but it doesn't make you feel better, really. It makes you feel worse because you're reliving that experience. And the more that we do that, the more we are going to have experiences just like that, unfortunately. So we're attracting them. So again, it's really important to be aware of what you are thinking and how you're talking about what you're thinking. Because again, you are the most important audience, and make sure that your audience is getting some of the pure information and pure thoughts. So no tension, the last of the 3, letting go and being in grace. So when we're too attached to something, we're blocking our way. So what we're saying is, come up with your intention, give it attention, and then let go. Let go. And recognize that this or something better will come along. And it's really important to let go. And you can have a plan B, but when you let go, if you can do it with kind of joy, kind of like, well, I did the best I could, let's see what happens. Kind of play with it a little bit, because when you play with it, it's just easier to let it go. So visualize your day is our first practice. So what I'm suggesting that you do is you think about the day that's coming up, and in the morning, of course, before you leave. So what is it that you think is going to happen? What are those details about what's going to happen? What would you like to have happen? Visualize it in your mind. So be as specific as you can. The way this really works the best is if you can be really detailed. So visualize what it is that you want to have happen and how you're feeling when each of those things are happening. Let's say you're going to a really important meeting and you've got some people there that are kind of hard to work with. Think about that situation and think about, instead of like, well, boy, I'm going to hold my breath because I'm not sure what they're going to say. It's like, oh, you know what? I can see them shaking their heads. Yes, I can see them giving some really great suggestions. You're setting the stage for things to happen smoother. Again, looking at that law of attraction, you are going to be coming in there with an energy that is positive then when you finally get to that meeting, rather than one that's hesitant or concerned about how it's all going to turn out. I'm sure that this has happened to you as well, where you anticipate that things are not going to go well, and they kind of unravel, and you don't want that to happen. You really don't. And it's also fun to see when you are finding that you're getting matched energy and people are upbeat, is that it kind of sets the stage for everybody else to be in a different place. When I remember years ago going into a meeting which had about 100 people, and I walked in, and it's one of those sayings where you could cut the air with a knife. I knew in my body something was going on there. We're really intuitive about these things. We know stuff that's going on. And unfortunately, in our lives, we've been used to just ignoring that intuition. But I'm going to talk about this in another slide. I want you to be thinking about, using that intuition more, because it's really true. It's really something that is going to be beneficial to you if you pay more attention to it. So this is a fun one. It's called Thumbs Up for the Day, 5 fingers. And this is, if you're feeling really hesitant about the day, just start your day with this. So thumbs up for the day, point in the direction you want to go, flip fear in the face, move forward strongly. And then the last thing is, remember to celebrate the little things. So you can just do that, and you can do it with your kids too, and have them have a fun day with it. So intuition is real. There's an extraordinary power there. When we were little kids, we pretty much depended on our intuition. Somewhere along the line, we lost sight of it, primarily because it's not something in our society that people support. They want you to go with the facts. They want you to make sure you've got backup. What we want to do is go back to when we were children and use it more. And so how do we do that? So what we do is, first of all, we honor first impressions. Those first impressions are really key. The second thing that we can do is we can create a diary of insights. And it's important to do that so that you can go back and validate it. So it's like, okay, so this is my intuition. You write it down, and then you go back to it and say, hey, you know what? That's true. That really happened. Or maybe not. But it's a way to help convince yourself that it actually does work. The second thing you can do is tune into your feeling about situation, events, and choices. So if it's not a hell yes, it might be a no. So, think about what feels right to you. The third thing you can do is put together a journal when you're stuck or confused. And so what I'm talking about is just writing down without any evaluation. Don't criticize yourself. Just start writing down what's going on. And that will help you get in touch with what's going on inside, and will help you maybe identify where there might be some possibilities. And one of the things that you can do, which this is going to sound kind of hokey, I think, but there's something called automatic writing. And I've done it, and I'm a perfectionist, so it's not easy to do because I want to write straight, but I'm writing like this, and sometimes I can't totally read what I've written because I've written over it. But what you do is you just start writing, and you don't look at it. You look out, not at your paper, but you keep writing, and look back at it when you're done. And you might be surprised at what you've written. And again, it's something that has come from your inner wisdom. And the fourth one is a creative process. So if you think about all the different projects that are calling to you, this is what you can do. Number one, ask yourself, what is it that really is a priority for me? Think about how you're feeling about the answer that you're getting from yourself. Because again, that law of attraction is in play. So if you're feeling not good about what your initial response was about the priorities, hey, that's an indication that you shouldn't go with that. Joe Vitale, who is a leader in this field, says, this is really fun. It's like having the universe as your catalog. You don't have to ask over and over again. You just ask once. And then you have received. The second thing is believe. Lisa Nichols, who is a firecracker speaker, says it's already yours. You have to believe that what you want is already yours. Be unwavering about it. Believe you've received it. So you're actually in that mindset. It's like, okay, this is what I want. I believe I've got it. And so it's not like you're saying, I'm going to get it. It's like, no, I've got it right now. I have got it right now. So that is really key. And it's so hard because it's like, oh yeah, I'm just kidding myself. No, you really have to put yourself in that energy of feeling that you've really got it and it's unwavering. And then the last thing you do is receive it. So Michael Bernard Beckwith, who is a minister who runs the Agave Institute in California, says, this is a feeling universe. When you are feeling good, you are in the frequency of receiving, and you will receive what you have asked for. Don't get caught up in the how, the when, or the where. Just feel it, and then it manifests. So again, when you're asked what it is that you want, feel that you've got it, feel that you're in there, and that you're receiving what it is that you want, and you will, and be open to receive it. Don't block it, be open to receive it. So we are at the end of this presentation, and I want to ask if you have any questions. Does this make sense to you? Or is there anything that you would like to ask me? Or ask each other? That's also possible. Oh, I can't hear you, Aaron. There you are.
Sorry, buttons. No.
It's okay.
Yep. I don't, I honestly don't have any specific questions. I just want to say thank you very much. This is it's a good set of presentations you have given, and definitely very good things to think about. I have a list of notes here to myself that I'm going to post up next to my workstation and remind myself daily.
Great. Good to hear. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Anyone else?
Diane, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, you said you made a comment and it kind of hit me, but I'm having trouble remembering exactly how you phrased it. You were talking about science and spirituality, and you said science was two things, and then spirituality was the vision and the values. And I would like for you to if you can go back to that and repeat it. I'm trying to figure out what the science was.
Oh, okay. Science provides tools and technology, and spirituality provides the vision and values.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Anybody else? Right. Well, as I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to do a workshop that's going to be a deep dive into what I brought out in these short workshops. And the goal is to help you create a new paradigm for your thinking and acting, having a deeper understanding of your mind, body, and nature connection, and then also acting from a place of inner peace rather than by habit or familiarity. So since you've attended my masterclass for Burned Out Who Me, you get a reduced price, and there is a bonus gift if you register by July 22nd. And you'll be getting some emails that will give you more information about this. I also indicated that I'm going to send you the link to the recordings. I've for all three, even though you weren't able to attend all three, that's just fine. And then I will give you the practice exercises that I reviewed. I also plan on sending a quick survey out to you. I promise it will be quick. Not like one of those when they say it's 2 minutes. It's like, well, boy, your clock must have stopped because it's not 2 minutes long. I don't want to waste your time, but it would really be helpful to me for future workshops. So this workshop actually was a inspiration that I got a couple years ago when I was with Minnesota, one of the watershed districts, and I gave a day-long program on mindfulness, and Beth was one of the attendees there. And Beth was also one of the people I asked when I was figuring out what to do my workshops on, and she came up with this one for today, the priorities. So thanks, Beth, again for that. So anyways, again, I really appreciate you attending, and I will be doing an encore of this. There are several people that told me they were interested but couldn't make it, and I will let you all know when that is, and feel free to sign up again if that would be helpful to you. But I really wish you all the best in the work that you do. I have a total admiration for the commitment that you make in your life to do the work that you do. So thank you so much. I know.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Diane.
All right.
Yes,
Thank
thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye now.